on a vacation with my wife, Danielle. We're about an hour outside the Golden Gate Bridge. Cool thing about California, is that there's just all this nature and beauty. And so you go from this big city, right an hour away called San Francisco, and then you just drive and you get these huge redwood forests. Fun fact about where I'm at, about right just a few feet from me, there's this secret little building that I just found out about. It's called the Bohemian Grove. You've probably never heard of it. You could Google it. I guess what the Bohemian Grove is this really exclusive resort. It's only open or available for a certain amount of people. And in this resort, they don't allow cameras and they don't allow Wi-Fi. I guess it's only where US senators go, or high end world politicians or world leaders or billionaires. And I guess there's just a lot of stories about it. I guess Bing Crosby spent some time there. In this place that I'm sitting at now, which is called the Boho Manor, was a location here on the Russian River, where I guess there was a movie called I'm blanking on the name, or it was filmed. So I'm gonna turn my camera here in a second so my face kind of lights up a little bit more. And so a quick announcement is that we're going to be launching the next group of Family 180 soon. And so we'll probably be opening up reservation for that in a few days. So if you're really looking for really some intense coaching and intense, powerful parenting experience, and you want your family to do a 180, look into that. And today we're going to be really talking about presence, right? Presence over presence, because our kids don't want presence. They want presence. I want to talk about how to have presence with your children in your parenting, and how to get and receive presence. I have 5 points that I want to share with you.
Friends, a quick break to say thank you to our sponsor, Switchaway. All of us, me and you, we buy stuff from Amazon, Target, Walmart, all these big box corporations. We do this because it's great. They have what we want, we get used to our brands. But look into Switchaway. Instead of giving our money to these huge corporations and these huge, very wealthy businessmen and women, I encourage you to look into this. Click that link in my bio and look into Switchaway. Buying from these American-made, American-manufactured products. I love the products. My wife does too. We made the switch. Check into it. Thanks.
First, if you were to ask 10 people, right, what does it feel like to be really present with your children? You're probably going to get 10 different responses. If you ask 10 people, what does it feel like to really just be present, with another human being? You're going to get 10 different responses. I'm just here in this beautiful location. Look at this right here, just sitting on the river and sitting underneath these beautiful, huge, enormous California redwood trees. And I'm just really present in this moment with you guys. And my wife, Danielle, and I are just a little couples getaway. This community is really important to me. So yes, I do take vacations sometimes, but here we are on a Thursday Parents Club, and I'm really in love with you. I'm committed to you. And so yes, I wanted to be here with you, even though I'm on a vacation, to be committed and to care for you and to answer questions and to inspire you. And so thank you for letting me, be in your life. So if you are here live, do me a favor. Just in 1 to 3 sentences, type down in the group chat, what does it feel like to you or mean to you to really experience presence with your children? I really am curious to see what you have to say. And as you type, let me share a couple of things that I've learned about presence in my 24 years of raising your sons and daughters. Okay, the first thing that I want to, I've got 5 points, is I really want you, especially this week, I want you to practice presence. I want you to be intentional about it. I challenge you every day, go and be present with your children. What you'll find is that it's really hard to be present. What you'll find is that you could actually easily go a whole week of your life without being actually present with your children. Now, you should all be shaking your head right now, because it's so freaking true, isn't it? It's so easy to go 1 week without actually being present. whether you're a working parent or you're a stay-at-home parent. I mean, we got balls all over the place. I'm getting hit by balls right now. Like they're coming down off these freaking redwood trees. Balls are in the air, and in this chaos of parenting and work and emotions and buttons and reactions, really, really hard to be present. In fact, I'm going to try to remember this next time we all log in on a Zoom on a Thursday or a Wednesday night. I'm going to even ask you, hey, did you practice presence this week? What was it like? Did they want to be present with you? You know, what challenges came up? Point number 2, right? Parent coaches say a lot of stuff, and you hear me say a lot of the same things over and over too. I mean, I think I need to, but I maybe never said this before. But what I'm about to say is maybe it's the most important thing I've ever said. Maybe if we were to do this, maybe if we were to do what I'm about to say, even me too, maybe our lives would be so different. Maybe our problems would go away. Point number 2 is, what if we made presence like a normal part of our lives? What if we did it and it just became natural, and we're just naturally practicing presence? Like it became a normal part of our home culture. Like you heard me talk a lot about culture and rituals. In fact, that's what I was planning on talking about today, is building a home of positive culture and rituals. But I pivoted here in this beautiful, serene place here, about an hour outside of the Golden Gate Bridge, nestled under these beautiful redwood trees. You know, I often imagine Native Americans, and I should probably do some reading about, like, maybe some like super smart, like doctor type person or PhD student wrote a book called like the Native American Parenting Practices. I just kind of imagine these people like around these big fires every night, just eating and laughing and dancing and present. And I mean, I just can't imagine many of their teenagers being anxious or depressed or having, outbursts when they're surrounded by, aunts and uncles and cousins and second cousins and godparents. If we were to make presence like the new normal in our home, which is something that I'm intentionally working on, and I'm doing this, and I tell you a lot of stories about how I'm doing this recently. In the past, I'm always talking about the power of family meetings, but now what we have experienced now, because my oldest daughter is almost 18, what we're really experiencing and reaping the benefits of is a weekly family night, right? Where everyone's home and no one's on their screens. We have a family meal, and we're just present together. But it makes me wonder, if we were to really achieve this level of presence that I know we all want, how many problems would go away, right? How many of these problems we have would go away? Number 3, this is super deep, right? Number 3, as you experience presence with your children, I want you to have mindfulness over what buttons are going to get pushed in you. So for me, I'm going to read some of these things that people are chatting in a second. I mean, for me, presence is what I've been doing with a lot of with my children, but on these like family nights that we're having, I'll just find myself just sitting there, just like not doing anything, just listening. Sometimes I'll be like, Dad, why are you being so quiet? Or, are you okay? Dad, are you bored? Not on my phone. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like sitting there, staring at them, listening to them. And for me, that's just for me. It's just something I've experienced, and it's been super amazing. But what you'll find, and I think you'll find this too, is that the more you're present, the more you're listening, and the more you'll have more self-awareness. And then buttons are going to get pushed for sure. So like here I am on family night, I have these expectations and these goals, and I see, one daughter might be picking up her phone a little bit more than I want. Another daughter might be treating another daughter poorly. Another daughter might be not helping like I want. Like you're just so aware of what's happening inside of you, in your own loneliness, your own pain, your own powerlessness, your own ADD, your own temptations to go fix, to solve, to correct, to control, to avoid. I'm not just making this up, right? I'm telling you this from personal experience, right? And you'll see that the more you really intentionally daily practice with your spouse or partner, this will also happen. Number 4 point. For those of you members of the Parents Club, you'll have this document in front of you, which I always try to allude to. It's called Being the Best You. And on question 3, it asks you, what are your really deepest desires in parenting? And I know some of my desires, like I really desire to feel important. I desire to feel intimacy, and with my children. I desire to feel like powerful, right? Significant. Like I don't want to be like a regular person in their life. I want to be a significant person. But what you'll notice is that in this presence, you'll see how you're in pain because, it's not about you and your desires are not always met, right? If you get to go pick out your favorite dessert or sugary thing, you feel good because it just lights up your body. But presence produces pain and self-awareness and shockingly amounts. And remember, one of the best ways of understanding your buttons is and your desires is they're just usually antonyms, right? So it's like if I already know what your results were on that piece of paper, then I would know how I could hurt you. I could hurt you deep. Because I would push your buttons and I would try to hold back your desires. But I would never want to hurt you. But if I know your desires and I know your buttons, well, then I know how to connect with you, how to bless you, how to love you, right? And again, this is these words are kind of like just another way for us to study ourselves because we're like these big icebergs, right? It's never about what it's about. It's not about family night. It's not about this issue between these two siblings. It's not about your teenager doing this stupid thing and you. It's about what is actually going on inside of you, inside of them. And the last number 5 point I have to share with you that I feel really passionate about when it comes to presence, how to have it in your life and how to get it is point 5 is to teach it. How do we create a home culture of presence? Well, you know what's sad? It's freaking sad and disgusting is that we have to teach it now. We have to freaking teach it. We have to be so freaking intentional about presence. What the hell is wrong with our world that like we just can't go on a vacation anymore and be present with our kids? Like you have to like have a speech about it. You have to like ask your kids to put their phones away or to chill out, or you have to tell yourself or your spouse like, hey, can we just do this? You know what I mean? There's so much freaking stupid stuff all over my freaking brain and all around us. It's like it just doesn't happen naturally. Now, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being weird right now. But it's like, what the hell is wrong with this place we live in? You think the Native Americans were sitting around the campfire and being like, hey, tonight, guys, it's going to be a special night. Tonight, we're going to be present with each other. I'm like so pissed right now. I want to throw my hat into the river thinking about this. It's pissing me off. Then I really fire myself up that this is actually the world we live in. What the hell has happened to us? I don't know. Okay, we're growing up in the 80s, 70s, 90s, whenever you grew up. Did our parents have to be super like intentional with us to get our attention? I don't think so. Like one of the major changes that I'm really experiencing in a positive way in my life is I took almost 40 days off of posting on social media for a lot of personal reasons. And it was so good for me. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, it was so good for me. I freaking needed to get recalibrated, yo. I need to get my mind on track, and I had to get my life together because that thing is a drug. It's a dangerous drug when you got like freaking 500,000 followers and it's all these comments and the ego and the fear and the scrolling. And it taught me a lot in it. And I'm never going to go back to that relationship with a screen that I got swept up into. So the point 5 is we have to teach it. And here's a practical way to teach it right now. You say to your kids, hey, I just want to let you know, like this dinner really meant a lot to me. Just kind of be here, just be present with each other. I love it. Hey guys, the reason we're doing this meeting is because this is like the type of family I want us to have. I want us to be a family where, like, when we sit down, we don't just all like go to this because we feel bored, or we don't feel like we have to entertain ourselves, or I have to entertain you. Like, we can just sit with each other. Dad, you're being obnoxious. You're being stupid. Like, yeah. So I don't feel like I'm being obnoxious or stupid. And it actually kind of hurts my feelings that you said that. I'm your dad. And this is what I want us to be. This is what's normal. What's normal is a family who can sit together and just be together. And we can talk. Well, I don't know. What are we going to talk about? Right, that's what we have to work on. But the fact that you asked me that tells us how far we veered off the path, right? Our culture has veered off the path. Okay, you're going to force me to talk to you? No, I'm not going to force you to talk to me. What I'm looking for as your parents, because I have feelings too, is presence. Us being a family of connection and listening. And I get it. Like, you have your own desires, your own feelings. And I want that. I want to support you in that. But this is what's important to me. And this is the way I feel loved and connected to you. It's just by this word, right? So think of this word presence as something we have to now teach our children to, because parents are teachers and every home is a school. So we're already teaching them about presence, for better or worse. And before you give your child one of these, make sure you don't only give them a talk about trust, but you talk about presence, right? And this is why we might give our kids presents at Christmas time or birthdays, but that's really not what our kids actually need or want. They want presents, and they kind of want it on their terms, in a sense, especially if they get older, right? Like my 6-year-old like wants presents all the time, 24/7. But then a 13-year-old, 17-year-old, 25-year-old, they just want presents on their terms. And that's the game. That's it. That's normal. We were the same way. So, and you'll notice that if you look at your, in conclusion, if you look at the issues you're dealing with your children, the painful cycles that haven't been solved yet, which is we're going to try to solve them today, right now, as we talk in the live Zoom. How many of those will be solved with presence? One person here in the group chat says, to me, presence means listening even when I feel like lecturing. That's good. Jessica writes, presence with my kids mean no cell phones, listening to their concerns, hard talks, struggles, not lecturing or talking at them. Stacy writes, being attentive, experiencing who they are in the moment, fresh, without any filters, feeling peaceful, relaxed, and doing something enjoyable. Tracer writes, for me, it's family dinner or an evening visits to their room to catch up. Right? So, and you look at your desires. So your kids can't read your mind. So when you're feeling that presence with them, when you're getting those desires met, tell them, right? Tell them, hey, this means a lot to me. Because when we teach them these things, we're changing the relationship, we're changing their lives, and we're actually changing the world. So thanks so much for coming to the Parents Club, everybody. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me your thoughts on presence, and then we'll get in some Q&A and some discussion.